toast makers, shot takers, and puff chasers. So, you see the thumbnail. Why, in our community in particular, why does it seem like the women in our community tend to uplift and glorify being single mothers, right? It's something that I'm always asking myself, why is that something that you're trying to big up and glorify? We see the statistics. We see what happens in our communities when you have single mother-led households. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that all of it is a woman's fault, because, you know, you do have men out here who are shiftless. You do have men who are lazy. You do have men who are just overall bums. In the same breath, I had to ask myself a question. Where was the thought process in going and having children with these men? Because we can sit here and say all day, well, the man should have, if he ain't want no child, the man should have been wearing protection, or the man should have not had sex with a woman. Fair enough. But also, too, who controls sex and who controls reproduction? Women. A lot of these situations, women are having children with men who already have kids from previous relationships, and they haven't proven that they can take care of those kids. So what would make a woman believe that if she has a child with a man who already has children from previous relationships, and he's not taking care of those kids, he's not involved in those kids, he's not helping to rear those children, what would make a woman believe that in this instance, she is going to be able to make him a better father for their child versus what he's already shown previously with his other kids? Why? Why do that to yourself? And then potentially be put on, and then potentially be put on the hook for not having to raise a kid by yourself. It just makes no sense to me. Especially when a lot of us have grown up in single parent households. I think statistically now, 80% of our kids in the Black community are coming up in single parent households. And a lot of us told ourselves that when we get to a point in life where we are able to have kids, that we're not going to be in the same position that our mothers were in. But it seems as though we haven't learned our lesson and we're repeating the cycles. And I know there's going to be a woman that's going to say, well, B, why are you trying to comment on, you don't have kids? I know I don't have kids yet. But also, too, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm having to have a woman take care of a kid by herself, because I value fatherhood. I value being involved in a child's life, because that's something that I've wanted as a young man. Ever since I was a little boy, I always wanted to be a father. But that's not every man. And women got to stop having babies with these men who have not proven themselves worthy enough to carry their seed. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. But then you get on Facebook, you try to get sympathy, you try to get attention, and I'll be real with you, I really don't have a lot of sympathy for that. Because a lot of these women are in situations where they know better. They know better than to give their body to some of these dudes. They know better than to have unprotected sex with a lot of these men. They know better than to try to have this man's child, not knowing whether or not that man is going to be involved in the process of raising this child. Now you get on Facebook, now you frustrated, you upset, and really, honestly, what it shows is, it shows a lot of regret that this woman has in having a child with this woman. She doesn't necessarily regret having a child. Excuse me. She doesn't necessarily regret having her child. But a lot of women regret the way in which they had their child, and more importantly, the man who they had a child with. That's the big thing. If a lot of women could hit the reverse button or hit the rewind button, they would probably change a lot of things about how they went about even having their children in the first place. We have to stop having children casually. We have to stop thinking that, okay, yeah, I'm having unprotected sex and nothing's gonna happen from that. If you're willing to do that, you have to be willing to take the consequences that come along with it. You have to. You can't put yourself in a situation where you're doing that, but then you don't want to suffer the consequences of said actions. You just got to take it like a big girl and keep it moving. Because if it was a man in the same position, people would be telling him, oh, stop complaining, stop bemoaning, and be a man and take care of your kids. So in this situation, you know, for any single mom that's out there, man, hey, man, you put yourself in that situation. Stop complaining and take care of your kids. Because all those people who shared the post, guess what? They ain't finna drop no cash up to you. They ain't finna give you no GoFundMe. You still gonna have to take care of that child by yourself. So, do what you gotta do, man. Because that's what y'all tell me. And if you are a woman that don't have a child yet, please, for the love of God, vet these men. See if this man is even a man that even want to have a child before you decide to put yourself in a financial situation or in a positional situation where you know that you're not going to be able to take care of this child by yourself. Do yourself that favor. But that's just my 5 cents, man. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. This your boy SBA. Eyes front, eyes to the finish. See it through.